Rise and shine. Why humans wake up early. And why some don't. Hey everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we're diving into a question that's been on my mind lately. Why do humans wake up early? I mean, some people are up at 5 a.m., jogging, meditating, and basically winning at life. While others, like me, can't even hear the alarm through 3 snooze buttons. So, what's the deal? Is it biology? Culture? Or just a cruel trick of the universe? Let's find out together. To understand why humans wake up early, we have to go way back. Like, caveman back. Picture this, it's 50,000 years ago, and you're a hunter-gatherer living in the wild. The sun's just starting to rise, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. You're curled up in your cave, dreaming of a nice woolly mammoth steak for breakfast. But here's the thing. If you don't wake up early, you might not get that steak. Worse, you might become breakfast for a saber-toothed cat. Back then, waking up early was a matter of survival. The early morning was the best time to hunt or gather food. Animals were more active at dawn, and the cooler temperatures made it easier to move around without overheating. Plus, if you were up early, you could spot predators before they spotted you. So, our ancestors who were naturally wired to wake up early had a better chance of surviving and passing their genes on to us. That's right, your 5 a.m. yoga routine might just be a gift from your caveman great-grandparents. But it's not just about survival. There's a biological reason why we wake up early, or at least, why some of us do. It's called the circadian rhythm. A fancy term for your body's internal clock. This clock is controlled by a tiny part of your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short. The SCN is like the conductor of an orchestra, telling your body when to wake up, when to eat, and when to sleep. And guess what? It's synced to the 24-hour cycle of day and night. So, how does this internal clock know when to wake you up? It's all about light. When the sun rises, light hits your eyes, even through your closed eyelids, and sends a signal to your brain that says, "Hey, it's morning. Time to get up." This light triggers your body to stop producing melatonin, the hormone that makes you sleepy, and start producing cortisol, which makes you feel alert and awake. It's like your body has its own built-in alarm clock, set to go off at sunrise. Okay, but if we're all wired to wake up early, why do some people, like me, struggle to get out of bed before noon? I mean, I've tried setting 10 alarms, and I still manage to sleep through all of them. Turns out, not everyone's internal clock is the same. Scientists call this your chronotype. Basically, whether you're a morning person, a night owl, or somewhere in between. Your chronotype is influenced by your genes. So if your parents are night owls, you might be one too. Morning people, or early birds, have a circadian rhythm that's shifted earlier. They naturally feel sleepy around 9 or 10 p.m. and wake up refreshed at 5 or 6 a.m. Night owls, on the other hand, have a delayed circadian rhythm. They might not feel sleepy until 1 or 2 a.m. and they'd rather sleep until 10 a.m. or later. Studies show that about 40% of people are morning people, 30% are night owls, and the rest fall somewhere in the middle. But biology isn't the only reason we wake up early. Culture plays a huge role too. Let's travel back to the agricultural revolution, about 10,000 years ago. When humans started farming, waking up early became a necessity. You had to tend to your crops and animals at dawn, before the midday heat made it too hard to work. Over time, this idea of early to bed, early to rise became a cultural norm, especially in farming societies. You've probably heard the saying, "The early bird gets the worm." That phrase dates back to the 1600s. And it reflects the cultural value placed on waking up early. In many societies, being an early riser is seen as a sign of discipline and productivity. I mean, think about all those successful CEOs who brag about their 4 a.m. routines. Like they're part of some secret early morning club. But let's be real, sometimes the early bird gets the worm. But the night owl gets to binge watch their favorite show until 2 a.m. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution in the 18th and 19th centuries. Factories needed workers to start early. So the idea of a strict 9-to-5 schedule, or even earlier, became the norm. Clocks and alarm clocks became more common. And suddenly, waking up early wasn't just a cultural value. It was a requirement. If you didn't show up to the factory on time, you might lose your job. But here's where things get tricky. In the modern world, technology has completely changed how we wake up. Before electricity, people went to bed shortly after sunset and woke up at sunrise. But now, we have artificial lights, smartphones, and Netflix. All of which mess with our circadian rhythm. That blue light from your phone screen? It tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. So you don't feel sleepy until much later. I'll admit it, I'm guilty of this. How many times have you told yourself, just one more episode? And suddenly it's 2 a.m. and you're still watching. That late night screen time delays your melatonin production, making it harder to wake up early the next day. And let's not even talk about those late night doom scrolling sessions on social media. I mean, who needs sleep when you can watch cat videos until 3 a.m., right? Another factor that affects when we wake up is age. Teenagers, for example, are notorious for sleeping in late. That's because during puberty, their circadian rhythm shifts later. A phenomenon called sleep phase delay. It's why your teenage son might not emerge from his room until noon. Even if you've been banging on his door since 7 a.m. But as we get older, our circadian rhythm shifts earlier again. Which is why your grandparents are probably up at 5 a.m. making breakfast. So, is waking up early actually good for you? Well, science says yes, but with some caveats. Studies show that morning people tend to have better mental health, lower rates of depression, and higher productivity. Waking up early gives you a head start on the day. And the quiet morning hours can be great for focusing on tasks. Plus, exposure to morning sunlight helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which can improve your sleep quality at night. But let's not get too excited about waking up early. For night owls, forcing themselves to wake up at 5 a.m. can backfire. If your body isn't ready to wake up that early, you might end up feeling groggy and tired all day. Which kind of defeats the purpose of being productive. I mean, I've tried waking up at 5 a.m. before. And by 10 a.m., I was basically a zombie. Just shuffling around with a cup of coffee, trying not to fall asleep on my keyboard. Let's talk about how waking up early affects your work. Many successful people swear by their early morning routines. Take Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. He wakes up at 3:45 a.m. every day to start his morning with emails and exercise. Or Michelle Obama, who used to wake up at 4:30 a.m. to work out before her kids got up. These early risers say that the morning is their most productive time, because there are fewer distractions. But here's the thing, not everyone needs to wake up at 4 a.m. to be successful. There's this huge myth that waking up early automatically makes you more productive. But that's not true for everyone. If you're a night owl, your most productive hours might be late at night. I mean, some of the greatest minds in history were night owls. Like Charles Darwin and Franz Kafka, who did their best work while the rest of the world was asleep. Now, let's talk about something that helps a lot of us wake up early. Coffee. Caffeine is a stimulant that blocks adenosine, a chemical in your brain that makes you feel sleepy. When you drink coffee in the morning, it gives you a burst of energy and helps you feel more alert. But here's a fun fact. Caffeine doesn't actually wake you up. It just masks your sleepiness for a few hours. I'll be honest, coffee is my best friend in the morning. But sometimes, it's a little too much of a good thing. If I drink too much coffee, I end up jittery and anxious. Like I'm ready to run a marathon, but also ready to hide under my desk at the same time. Plus, if you drink coffee too late in the day, it can mess with your sleep, making it even harder to wake up early the next morning. So, what if you're a night owl but you want to become a morning person? Is it even possible? The good news is, yes, you can train yourself to wake up early. The key is to reset your circadian rhythm. Start by going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. Even on weekends. I know, no more sleeping in on Sundays. But trust me, consistency is key. Another tip is to get some morning sunlight as soon as you wake up. Go for a quick walk outside. Or at least open your curtains and let the light in. This helps signal to your brain that it's time to start the day. You can also try setting your alarm clock across the room. So you have to get out of bed to turn it off. It's a little annoying, but it works. Of course, waking up early is a lot easier if you're getting good sleep. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. And try to create a relaxing bedtime routine. That means no screens at least an hour before bed. So put down that phone and pick up a book instead. You can also try drinking a cup of chamomile tea. Or doing some light stretching to help you unwind. Let's take a quick trip around the world to see how different cultures wake up. In Japan, many people wake up early to practice asakatsu. A morning routine that includes exercise, meditation, or studying. In Spain, on the other hand, people often wake up later. Because their culture values late-night socializing and siestas in the afternoon. It just goes to show that there's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to waking up early. Before we wrap up, let's share a funny story about waking up early. A few years ago, I decided I was going to be a morning person. I set my alarm for 5 a.m., put it across the room, and even laid out my workout clothes the night before. But when the alarm went off, I somehow managed to sleepwalk across the room, turn it off, and go right back to sleep. All without waking up. I guess some of us are just meant to be night owls.